apple juice actually useful?
Long time no see. I don't really know where to start with this video, and by the way, I'm not really gonna edit this shit that much because editing takes a long, in terms of like the cutting between clips and shit like that. Not gonna do it. This is gonna be kind of one of those, I don't know, the green screen is gonna be ungreenified and there might be shit in the background, but other than that, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. I don't know, maybe I will. But I've been gone for a while, as you guys have known. There's been a lot of questions circulating, like what the fuck's been happening. If you follow me on Twitter, you're at least somewhat updated on what has been going on. If you didn't know, last week, at some point last week, I want to say it was the beginning of last week, I was actually sent to the hospital because it's really kind of complicated, but let's just say they say it's because of stress and anxiety. And I know that sounds like really weird and kind of like it's like, oh wow, that's why you've been gone for a week sort of thing, but it's like, I know it sounded like I didn't believe it either, but they literally like they checked me. Okay, all right, let me break down. I'm gonna just tell you guys the whole story. All right, my S's are now, all right, not for the whole story because that's gonna be way too hard to keep up. But okay, so when I was a wee boy a week ago, I'm not a wee boy anymore. I've grown into a man over the last week. It was a late night. I was working, right? You know, I was up late editing a video. By the way, in terms of the SeeReax games, I know this is super off topic, but I've already recorded the finals. It's a matter of me sitting down and editing it. Where's the camera? I'm using my phone. I guess you guys are right there. I'm gonna have to edit because I'm all over the fucking place. Oh yeah, I was editing. I want to say it was one of the SeeReax games episodes. It wasn't the finals because I hadn't recorded it yet. I started to lose my breath. And this is weird because I'm somebody, and not to toot my, what do the kids say, toot your own horn? I think old people say that. I work out a lot, right? And like I guess, like it's weird for me to just lose my breath just sitting down, and it was weird. So I was like, all right, you know, this is kind of weird, and I noticed an elevated heart rate. Blah 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 blah. Long story short, I managed to get myself to sleep it off about 2 hours later. I'm kind of like walking all over the place. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on, sort of thing. But eventually I fall asleep. I'm like, okay, I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up, I'll be fine. I wake up.
Is me not actually being fine actually useful?
Okay, the same thing is going on in the morning, and I'm like, okay, this is really freaking weird, because I googled it, because you know when something's wrong with you, everybody knows you gotta Google it. But at the same time, but then some people, I've been warned that Googling things makes it worse because you will convince yourself that you are going to die. Okay, I Googled a few things and I saw all this fucking, like, all these heart issues that could occur, and I'm like, oh my god. And I think it kind of made it worse, but and I saw what an anxiety attack is, because that's what everybody, I guess, assumes that it was, or assumes that it is, and that I think ultimately I think that's what it ended up being. But what I saw is it said, oh, an anxiety attack can be like 10 to 30 minutes. Like, you know, you kind of trip a little bit. But mine was like this prolonged thing over the course of like hours and hours and hours. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go to work. I need to go to the doctor, see what the hell is going on. So we go to, my girl takes me to the doctor. We get there, and then, you know, they check me out, and then the lady is just like, oh, you know, I think you're just stressed out. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm still feeling like shaky as fuck. I'm like, all right, just stressed, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of reasons. It's not just YouTube. I don't want people to be like, oh man, you're that stressed over YouTube, bro. You need to take, like, it's not just you. There's a lot of shit going on in the life of Deion. That rhyme, this isn't the time. But is that a crime? I'm gonna drop my album soon, just wait. Where was I? So she tells me that it's just like, it's just stress, something like that. So, but I'm like, okay, are you sure it's just stress? I feel like there's something else going on here. Like, it's just off and on, this sort of thing. Like, my heart rate is going crazy. I feel like I'm gonna pass out like any second now. Like, it's really scary because I've never really felt like that again. Like, I'm a guy, I like to think that I take care of myself pretty well. I tried to make a good point of going to the gym every single day. Ironically enough, I went to the gym that day, and I eat somewhat decently, not perfect, but not bad. All this, you know, whatever the fuck you want to say is a healthy person. That was what I thought I was. So I was like, okay, what the hell is really going on? It's not an anxiety attack because it's been such a long time. So they're like, okay, let us check your heart out. We gonna check you out. So they did all this shit. They checked, what is it called? EKG. They gave me an EKG. I don't know what it stands for, but it's something where they check your heart. And when they checked that out, I know I'm going super in depth, but I just want everybody to know what's been going on. They checked that out. And if you're bored, fuck it, I don't care. You can click off the video. Actually, don't. Just leave it playing and mute it because I would like you to watch the whole thing. And then she was like, whoa, like, there's something wrong with you. We need to call the ambulance. And I was like, okay. Then that started freaking me out. And they like get this, they do the thing where I've never been hospitalized for anything. So this was all foreign to me. And I think, you know, and if it ultimately, again, I think at this point in time, I do think it was anxiety or something like that, which is, again, weird. Never had that before. But it didn't make it any better, her saying like, yeah, your EKG came out bad. Like, she was like, and it's something, again, that monitors your heart to make sure everything is okay with your heart. And they were like, there is something wrong. We need to call the ambulance. And I'm like, I'm literally just, I'm thinking like, okay, what the fuck is, like, I'm scared. I'll be real with you. Because again, I've never lost control to that point where I'm just like I'm about to, like, it was just fucking, it was all weird. Anyways, I'm like, nah, B, don't call that ambulance. That's a lot of money. So my girl drives me to the hospital, and again with the anxiety thing, and this is where I think most of the underlying stress / anxiety came from. Not YouTube. It's because that's what everybody jumps to conclusions and thinks. But my girl is also very pregnant right now. I won't go into details, but literally in any day sort of thing. That might be kind of personal, but fuck it. And she's kind of tripping at the same time that I'm going through my little episode. You know, it was supposed to be the Deion arc going into this, and then she was like, fuck your arc. My arc is also happening right now. And then so is my daughter's, okay? So basically, she feels like she's about to pop, sort of thing, you know what I mean? So all this is going on at once, and now that I think about it, I think it was the accumulation of all of this shit happening at one time. I think I'm gonna die, and she is like thinking that she's about to have the baby and stuff, and then long story short, we go to the hospital, I lay down, and they check me out. I'm okay, by the way. It's been about a week, a little over a week now. I've been off and on since, and they were just like, they checked me out, and they did another EKG, and they were like, we think everything is fine. You know, they got blood. I got the first IV I've ever gotten. You can't really see it, but I got a little mark on my clear throat. asterisk. Whew, I haven't done a video in a while, as you can see. They checked me out again, and they're like, okay, physically, we think you're good. Everything looks fine. You look like a healthy motherfucker. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Why do I feel like shit? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't get it. And they're like, the guy was literally just like, nah, you look fine. We're gonna let you go. And then blah blah blah. By the way, my baby it's still, to this point that I'm recording this, I don't know, maybe in the editing process my baby was born, but maybe hasn't been born yet. So she wasn't born that day. Just to clear her arc up, she was interjecting her arc into my arc. They were like, you're fine. We're gonna let you go. Just take it easy. We think that it's a lot of people, you know, that it's stress related, blah blah blah. And then I did a little more research on anxiety a little bit later, because I still had that feeling. I still occasionally, I guess, had these episodes where, because I was trying to come back sooner, like maybe a few days, like 2 days after the hospital. I tried to make a video, and I couldn't. Like, I started recording, I was talking, and I was losing my breath. Like, you guys, you hear me talking now, like I'm fine now, but like I was trying to like talk, and like I couldn't put a sentence together because I would run out of breath, and like I started tripping, and like I was trying to come back sooner, pretty much. I wasn't able to, but I did manage to record SeeReax Games episode. I was like, something's wrong, so I did more research on the anxiety thing, and it said like, oh, a lot of people before like a life-changing event, like whether you notice it or not, because again, I didn't feel it, like I never really felt the stress, but I think it's because it's something where I've been like, I guess, dusting it under the rug sort of thing. This is me dusting it. That looks inappropriate. Hold on, that there. I was trying to dust everything under the rug, I guess subconsciously. Like I wasn't trying to like be like, oh, I don't want to think about all this shit, but I just wasn't thinking about it. But it was secretly, you know, in the back of my mind building up, and I think there was just this one, it was that night that it just kind of all hit me at once, like, you know, whether I'm thinking about it or not, this is happening. I couldn't relax, I couldn't calm down. It was weird. But they said that it's a normal thing that can occur. Like people can have actually, there's been people who have had heart attacks just sheerly because of anxiety, something like built up stress, and it's like a normal thing nowadays because I guess the world we live in. So some weird shit. I don't know. I've gone on and on, but I didn't know I was gonna get so detailed and in depth with this shit. But basically, there was shit going on, and I needed to take a break. I actually yesterday I got a massage to try to. I'd never had a massage before, but I was like, all right, let me just, I guess, quote unquote, pamper myself. It was decent, but they had these hot stones, and those bitches were really hot, and I was like, ugh, bitch, don't. Anyway, I'm good now. All right. Overall, like as you can see, I'm healthy now, so hopefully I can start pumping out videos more often. I know this was a different type of video. Normally I have like a focus, like I'm, you know, playing a game or something like that. But you know, I just felt like, I guess, really elaborating and explaining what was going on. It was just all weird. I wanted to make sure I fully recovered before I came back, because if I come back, I don't want to just come back and then be like, you know, when I wasn't ready and then something bad happens and then I have to wait even longer to come back. So I wanted to make sure I fully recovered. You know, I cleaned up my office, made shit look spiffy in this bitch, just so I can 100% come back. Anyways, I've been rambling. SeeReax games. I know the winner of the SeeReax games. I know exactly who I'm training for. I won't spoil that, but just make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the tournament. We got 2 more fights. For the people who haven't been keeping up with the SeeReax games, by the way, it's a tournament. There's a playlist in the description, just because you might just want to watch this video to make sure I'm alive and shit. I'm really good at rambling, so I'm just gonna cut the video off. We hit all the good points. I'm alive. I'm good. I didn't know if I would. I literally thought last week, I was like, damn, I was thinking about death. Like I was legit thinking, like, it was weird because like I thought, I'm rambling again. I'm gonna end the video now. I'm gonna see you guys later. With that, I just have 2 more words to say. Just subscribe.